everybody, this video is inspired by Claudia Charriez. This look is from this photo shoot here that she did. She looks absolutely flawless. I'm obsessed with this look. She is a model and actress. She works with the Trans Latina Coalition, who also has Maria Roman Taylorson, if you remember from my Trans Icon series. I had to go ahead and add Claudia. She is absolutely fabulous. I've had this planned for a while. Definitely go and check her out on Instagram. The hair, I had this hung up, so I styled it with just like a 1-inch curling iron, wanded it, and then I hung it up upside down for volume. And maybe she got a bit too much volume. And maybe I'm not gonna glue her down. So we're not gonna say anything about it unless it's your hair looks really good, okay? Okay. Yeah, the hair is all inspired by the same shoot that she did. Obsessed. Wish I had the crown, you know, the nails and all that to go along with it to really give the full fantasy, but I do not. So this will have to be good enough. Claudia, if you see this, thank you so much for being a trans icon. Love you. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. Okay, we're starting it with Louise Base. And I put too much on my sponge. So I was like, okay, let me just put it above my eyebrow too. And I will be using the Jeffree Star Thirsty palette and the Jeffree Star Wedding palette. So for the Thirsty palette, I'll be using the colors Biiitch, Kumquat, Stroke, Drizzle, Filthy Rich, Lick, and for the Star Wedding palette, I'll be using Grand Entrance and Cut the Cake. So I went ahead and I used Budge and Kumquat in the crease. Kumquat was what I used here, and Bitch was what I used as to really warm it up. When I went ahead and used Filthy Rich on the lid, I decided it wasn't as like gold as I wanted. It was more champagne, so I used Lick over top of it, which I thought worked significantly better. And then, like I said, I used Grand Entrance from the Star Wedding palette. I used that on the eyebrow, and I used Cut the Cake on the inner corner. I used Drizzle on the outer corner, and Kumquat and Stroke on the outer corner as well too. It was all layering. I think I used Kumquat first, and then I went into Stroke, and then Drizzle on the very outer corner, and then I went ahead and warmed it up even further with Budge. So I went ahead and did that. I wanted like a super gold, like, reminds me of like Greek goddess shit. So yeah, that's what I went ahead with. And for the eyeliner, I used the e.l.f. H2O Proof Eyeliner Pen, which was way dry, so I had to, this was the last time using it for sure. I used the all the products are down below, by the way, if I'm going a little too fast or if you can't catch anything, whatever, you can just look down below. So when I was applying that inner corner color, I went ahead and applied it like that. Then I took some of that lid color, that shimmer, and just blended that back over top of the inner corner color, just to kind of tone down that intense white of the inner corner. And then I curl my lashes, use Lancome Lash Idole mascara and just some simple lashes. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz Skinny Brow Pencil. And this is just a sample I have, honestly. And would I purchase it again? No, because I like the Oh my gosh, what is it? Is it L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer? I think it's that one. I know it's called Brow Stylist Definer, but I don't know if it's L'Oreal. But anyway, that one is my favorite one, and it's drugstore, and it's cheaper. So why wouldn't I go with it? You feel me? So, and then I went ahead and used Catrice Prime and Fine, and I used that all over my face, just to smooth everything out and give a nice slip to the base, as well as fill in some pores. Then I used the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. Ugh. Bitch, I am tired. And then I went ahead and applied my foundation, which was the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation. And I applied that with a brush all over my face, then went back over with a sponge to remove any brush marks or anything like that. Then I used the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer in the color White. I love having a super, super bright under eye. So that was what I enjoyed doing there. And then I also apply some on my chin and on my forehead just for some added brightness in that area. For powder, I use the MAC Studio Fix powder, and I used the Shivering White color, and then I used the, I think it's NC18 is the color I use. I use that on the rest of my face. I did not do liquid blush or liquid bronzer. I totally forgot. I went right into setting. And I used the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder. And here I am just setting that under eye. I use a smaller, medium, I guess, flat top brush to really pack that in. And then I set my whole face, and I actually show why I do what I do. So I set everything, and then I'll run my fingers over it to make sure it's totally set and not tacky, because I do not like transfer. I can actually place my black shirt onto my face without getting any color transfer, which is very important to me. I hate getting makeup on clothing, or makeup like when I'm hugging someone, getting a makeup mark on them. So embarrassing. So for blush, I use the YSL 57 Make Me Blush powder blush. So here, see how I can like touch my face and nothing comes off? I live for that. I need it to be like totally matte, and then I will go back in with shimmer after. I did go back in with the Jeffree Star Diamond Wet Supreme Frost, which is my fave. And I just used my fingers for that. I didn't do too much because I knew I was applying that sparkle. Then I used the Essence in the Nude Lip Liner, Jeffree Star's Diet Mannequin Velvet Trap, and then over top of that, I used the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Star Wedding palette. I used the color Star Vows. For under the eyes, I used Made by Mitchell Make a Toast All Smudge No Budge eyeliner. And I just go ahead with, I believe it was kumquat that I used under the eyes, just to kind of smudge out that eyeliner. And then I'm using a clear lash glue. It's so much easier to apply the lash glue directly to your area you want to rhinestone, as opposed to applying it to the rhinestone. So I recommend tapping the glue where you want it, and then putting the stone where you put the glue. And I just did this kind of pattern here, And these are just a classic silver stone. They're not AB or anything. I find when I put AB on my face, it can lean green. So I tend to not do that. This is why I applied the Marc Jacobs Tan-Tastic Omega Bronze, because I totally forgot to apply bronzer. And honestly, the hair was super easy. I chucked it on, did my part, and I had already had this curled in a wand curl with a 1-inch iron, so it was all good to go. But you know, a bitch didn't glue it down. I mean, highly unprofessional. But I love this wig. I made this wig. I made like 99% of my wigs, but it was hanging upside down, so that's why there's so much volume. Maybe a little too much volume. Thanks for watching. Bye!